Today's video is all about fresh start servers, why you should or should not play on a fresh start server, what to expect and what to be let down and disappointed by when playing on a fresh start server. Alright, so fresh start server means everybody starts back at level 1. All of that grinding, all of that time spent, thousands of hours on your character at this point just wasted because you're starting on a new server because you want to get away from the dupes and the exploits and the gold coin inflation and all that stuff and the power guilds that control all the territories with their splinter groups with their alt characters that are also controlling all the territories. You want to be able to fight in wars, you want to be invited to invasions, you want to meet a new group of people, you just want a new world experience as if it was launch day all over again. So, with that said, first things first, you should expect people like me or other hardcore gamers to be able to level up much faster than you. You probably work a job or have to go to school or have life obligations, whereas some of us don't. So, I can 1 to 60 in 32 hours with town boards. Now, depending on how hardcore and extreme the server is, town boards should be up and running easily on the first day across the board. Now, without town boards, if I want to hoard materials, it's about 40 hours for me, and that's about as fast as I can get through multiple speed runs. Next up is your trade skills must be re-leveled. That means everyone's going to have to siphon resources to 1 or 2 social people, usually in big guilds, or people that have all day, every day to bug their comrades for, hey, let me be the guy that crafts your bags. Hey, let me be the guy that crafts your bags. And then before you know it, the one guy in your guild that crafts you bags hates your guts because you don't think too fondly of the military or something, and so he decides he's not going to craft you any bags. And now he has a clique. He has a bunch of people that worship his toes and will do anything he says, and you're not part of that clique, so guess who's getting guild kicked first? You're going to have to deal with glitches and exploits and bugs that were never fixed, and they still won't be fixed. Yeah, right, there's people in the hype train that are like, they'll fix everything. No, they're not. They're not going to fix any of this shit, okay? There are still annoyances in the game from launch day. Like, did you know that if you're in a company and someone can invite you to their company while you're in a company, which means if you make a company as a gold mule and you get invited to another company and you just randomly hit F1 and accept, then all of your gold in that company is gone because the company is gone because you were the only member in that company. And this has not been fixed since beta, since alpha. It's still not fixed. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so you have speed exploits. There's more than one. There's at least 10 that I know of. There's the attack speed hacks. You have to actually like pay for a hack program to do this. There's the ESP and radar hacks. There's a bunch of free ones out there. Hell, there's even free fish botting out there currently. There's working dupe methods that have never been fixed, and most of these are just for consumables. There is one that involves coin duping. However, item duping is very rare. There's 2 people I know of that do it. They can prove to me that they can do it, but they won't teach me how to do it. It involves something with the trade window and company, like, joining and leaving companies. I don't know entirely any more than you guys do on the item dupes, but they do exist. They're out there. There's flight, invisibility, and no clip, which are all available as soon as you could buy a house, by the way. I know that one very well. Clans and bots will control every major resource node. Have you ever went to, like, one of the big skinning areas and there's just a big clan sitting there camping it, and then if you enter, they'll mess with your body block, you spam over the voice to go away. If you're flagged up, they'll have friends come over from their rival guilds, which are just them on sock puppet accounts that will camp you and drive you out of the area. And then, like, just not related, but doing corrupted dungeons, or while you are under geared, corrupted areas or dungeons, whatever, it's a slog. It sucks. If you do dungeons with crappy gear, it is painful, it's awful, it's horrible. And basically, everyone joining a fresh start server, there are one of 2 people. You are either someone who was alone and didn't make any friends and you hope to make new friends. You could be maybe a new player that doesn't want to have to, you know, join an established server. Maybe you're a player that is coming back to the game and you didn't really grind out too much, so your main character, you don't have a lot to lose on them. Or you're a sweaty guildie, a clanny that has like 500 buddies all joining one server so you can completely take over the map, tax everyone to the max, and basically just rule over the server with an iron fist with your Zerg mates, with your overpowered, sweaty, neat life friends. That's what you're going to encounter on fresh start servers. There's still going to be dupes, there's still going to be exploits. You are not going to have fun. you are absolutely going to be just as miserable playing on these fresh start servers as you are on a server that has been established for a while. Low player counts across many MMORPGs, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, every MMORPG ever to do fresh start servers, all suffer from lower player counts. You won't have as many people to play with, as many people to buy and sell from. The people that do play on these will probably already be in their own clans, in their own clique, and you're not welcome, you're not invited, so you're going to be just as lonely on them. And the whole point of a fresh start server is to join a server where there aren't dupes, where there aren't exploiters, where there aren't massive amounts of dupe mule accounts just sitting on 10,000, 100 million Asmodeum and stuff like that, right? So the whole point of a fresh start server is completely moot in New World because these things aren't fixed, these things aren't addressed. Sure, there won't be dupe mules on a fresh start server unless they allow server transfers, and I guarantee you some people will transfer their RMT mules and then slowly spread out the goods and then RMT that shit. But you're still going to have the dupers and the exploiters. I mean, hell, even on the PTR, there was an instance where, like, one clan ran around and bought the entire map out, like, 20 minutes after it went live, okay? And yes, you could be like, well, what they did was they just ran through the tutorial and gave their starting gold away, and no, they didn't. They immediately duped that gold as soon as they all logged in, and then they just bought every territory with duped gold. It's way too much gold to be doing that kind of stuff. They didn't have, like, I think the player count never went above 100. And for 100 characters to give their starting tutorial little section gold away, and I think they fixed that exploit anyway a long-ass time ago, that you don't get that starting money anymore. I forget exactly, or they put a trade restriction on new accounts. I don't really remember the fix that they implemented, but essentially, that's not how they did it. It's because they took gold, they piled it all together, and then they duped it. That's just how it is. And then you could even see other creators who have videos of them speed hacking. The people buying out all the territories were speed hacking zone to zone, because if you're a level 1 running through a level 40 zone, it's kind of tough. It's still doable. You can still time your dodges and whatnot to not get killed. But people are still cheating, and fresh start servers it's going to be no different. Like, what you see on screen right now is legitimate play, right? But imagine if I was running 10,000 miles per hour and attacking 10 times a second, okay? It's going to be stupid and nutty, and you're going to see it, and whenever this happens, you can come back to this video and be like, hey, I should have listened. I should have listened, Soul Benji. Wars will absolutely not be fun for you at all. Unless you have overleveled the majority of the people on the server, which I did when I first started. I was level 40-something fighting in a level 20 war. If you aren't abusing the current bugs and glitches and metas, you're going to be just losing the wars. And if you're not part of the most sweatiest, zergiest guild on the server, then you won't even be invited to the wars. You think that on a fresh start server, it's going to be just like launch day. It's going to be all fun. No one's got their footing. No one knows what the hell they're doing. Here's a spoiler. We all knew what we were doing on launch day because we all played in the betas and the alphas. So we knew exactly what the metas were, and that's why I was level 40-something in that video, running Great Axe and Bow, and everyone else was level 20-something. I mean, I had people in the comments screaming about Great Axe and Bow. Did y'all not realize that the Great Axe was bugged and gave you a permanent 30% move speed increase? It allowed for heavy swings to cleave twice in one attack. There was so many bugs with the Great Axe, right? And then the Bow, you could stack another 20% move speed by weapon swapping and animation canceling to the point where you were running 50% faster than everyone else. And this is why it was meta on release. Yes, of course, the stats don't match up. You know, one's strength, one's dex, whatever. So you're mixing strength dex, but that's not important when you're level 40 and everyone's level 20. What's important is that you can run people down and they can't escape, and you can jump from control point to control point. If you aren't absolutely serious about the metas in these big, serious, sweaty clans, then wars aren't going to be fun. If you're playing New World primarily for the war combat, then you're playing the wrong game. I'm sorry, but these fresh start servers are not going to give you what you are looking for. If you're looking for re-grinding all your skills to 200 once again because that's all you do in these games, you might have some fun. They did make it a lot easier to grind from, you know, skill levels 1 to 200. But for me, as an old school player, it was hard, okay? It even got harder in December when they nerfed how easy it was to level up your skills. And yes, they did make it easier since then. But for those of us that went through the grind the hard way, we're not going to just give up our characters that are level 200 in all the crafting and all the gathering and all the refining. Why would we? I don't want to ever do those grinds again. I did it when they were harder. Like, people are telling me now, and I can't confirm this, fishing took 4 straight days, okay? It took over 80 hours to max, okay? I would say 96 hours to be safe, but at least 80 hours to go from 1 to 200 fishing. And now that you can do it in 6 hours, that's a spit in the face to all the old school players, right? And hey, you know, grats, you know, you can go on there, you can max fishing in what, 6 hours? But so can all the fishing bots. Almost everyone I know that still plays this game, they all run fishing bots. Every single one of them. They all do it. And they all show their catches. You know, everybody, hey, look what I got. Hey, here's how much gold I earned from sleeping. Or here's what my bot got while I was at work. And it's like, oh, that's cool, man. It's just ridiculous. And these fresh start servers aren't... Why would you play on a new server and gimp yourself all your hard work when everyone else is going to be just botting and cheating and scripting and exploiting their way back to where they were on the current servers? It makes no sense to me. And then there's people that are like, I just want to see the new game experience. I just want to see the new quests. I just want to see the new areas, the new monster types. And you know what? That's fine. But hey, you can do that on your level 60 character. You can do that on your maxed out character. You don't need to start a new character to experience these things. You can go to the old zones and you can do the quest just like anyone else can. There's no reason for you to start a whole new account on a whole new server. And then you have the tourists, okay? The tourists are the ones who are going to join the fresh start server. They're going to level to about 20 to 30 on their first couple of days, and if they're hardcore. And then they're just going to quit and go back to their home server because they miss their friends, and they miss having 500,000 coins, and they miss having their companies where they're invited to wars, where they get to sit for 30 minutes and defend their territory from people that are like 550 to, you know, 100 gear score lower than them. It's ridiculous. There's no reason right now for a fresh start server to exist. The player count is only up to 40 to 50k, and yeah, it's going to go a little bit higher after the Brimstone Sands launches. But like, here's another thing too: as the Amazon Game Studios creators, the devs, why would they give you a fresh start server when they want you to experience the new content of the game? You won't even be able to touch Brimstone Sands on a fresh start server for at least 4 to 5 days, or longer if you need to gear up more for the content in there. I don't know, because I'm not bothering to play it. But the point is that the devs don't want you to just play the old content, they want you to play the new content, so fresh start servers won't even be out until after Brimstone Sands. My guess, who knows what it'll be, but even with that, Brimstone Sands is going to peter out in a month or two. The population's going to sink back to what it was, because everyone's going to realize all the same heartaches and the same problems are still in the game. And then after that, they're not going to have a reason to really either keep the fresh start servers going. They'll just remerge them once the population dies. Or, you know, maybe it might have a healthy little bit of population of like 500 people. That's not healthy for an MMORPG. I couldn't believe that the server caps are only 2,000 in this game. That's incredibly low. That's stupidly low. I mean, like, this game is like several sizes bigger than Rust, and Rust can have 200 to 400 people per server. It's insane. It's nuts, right? But this game can only have, what, 2,500 per server? Where's my 10,000 people servers? Those were way more fun in the alphas and the betas, right? And yeah, that was a real thing. You had tons more people in the alphas and the betas, which the game actually ran a lot smoother. It didn't have the stupid issues that it has now. I don't even know if they ever truly fixed spell spam in wars or not, because I haven't been part of a war since November, because my guild all quit, they all died off, and I didn't want to suckle toes and join some other guild. That's just the truth, man. Fresh start servers, they're not going to be fun. You're not going to have fun. You're not going to enjoy them. There's not a real point to them. It's going to be filled with bots, because the bots are going to be able to charge you more money for the coin that they generate. The economy is going to tank because of all the bots. Nothing will be done about the bots. They won't ban the bots. They won't ban the cheaters and exploiters. And unless you use ESP and radar hacks, then you're not even going to see half the bots and cheaters, okay? The bots and cheaters that I know, they not only do they activate a speed glitch, then they activate flight, then they activate no clip, and then they activate invisibility. So they are running around the game world deleting things super fast, looting chests while completely invisible, and you're not going to be able to compete. If I decide to play a fresh start realm, I'm going to be one of the easily top 10 first to level 60 because I have this stuff practiced like crazy. You're not going to be able to compete with me unless you have a bunch of guildies and you're all circle jerking around doing your guild stuff. It's just how it is. And so why would you even bother? Why would you get your hopes up? Oh, maybe you had a level 30 character that you like quit back in October because you couldn't put time into the game. And now that it's been a year later, you're like, well, I don't have anything else to play, so I'll just play on a fresh start server. That's the people you're going to find on the fresh start servers. You're going to make friends with these people. You're going to go on a quest or two, maybe do a dungeon. They're going to be shit at the dungeon because they haven't played the game. They don't know the metas. They don't know even how the Carnelian gym... Like, I'm reading Reddit, and they don't even know how taunting works in this game. It's been out a fucking year, and they don't know how to taunt. Okay, they don't know any of the fast ways to do things or how to level up or even the proper gear to use. Luckily, this game doesn't have an inspect feature where you can just kick people out of your group for having terrible, shitty gear. But that's just the truth. I know you don't like to hear the truth. That's why you downvote my videos because they're trying hard, they're working so hard. No, they're not. They're not working hard at all. Those guys make 100K a year. All right, I have no respect for someone that makes that amount of money per year. There's no reason for me to suckle on the toes of the developers making 100K a year, sitting around in a nice office, drinking their coffee and their free water and their free acai, chai lattes or whatever the heck, and their eucalyptus towel. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna bend the knee. Okay, and I'm telling you the hardcore, actual, real truth from someone who has dedicated their entire life to gaming. You may think that I'm unhinged or crazy or whatever, but that's just how it is. I'm Soul Benji. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole. And there's a video on the screen right now. You should click on it. I also have a Discord. You should join it if you want to be epic and troll gamers with me on several games. If you like video game trolling, join the Discord. Link in the description. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Take care, lads.